What is up, everybody? It is Tuesday, August 17th, and I'm having a great morning. It's a little rainy here, but I am so excited to get into the news, what's been happening, and then some just comments on a few, projects that have been being talked about a lot over the last 12, 24 hours. Just to jump right into things right off the bat. My good friend, who I consider a friend, hopefully he considers me a friend back, Frederick Levins, who's done some really good research and has taken the time to dive into certain topics. He's a Miami University student, engineer. He has been a really big fan of fractional.art. I know he picked up some more Twin, and this tweet just had me laughing. Him saying that Twin dumped last night. He was up at 3:45 a.m. Central Time and essentially just immediately picked it up. I would say that this was indeed a very good pickup and very smart on his part. If you're not buying stuff on Fractional because you think it's bad, I get that there are concerns about the SEC and whatnot, but I do think fractionalization of NFTs is really important. We'll actually get into it more on this video as we talk about different topics within the fractionalization space. In news of what happened yesterday around 7 p.m. Eastern time, I had SpottieWiFi come on my YouTube channel, and we live dropped his new album, or at least his album premiere of his new feature song with Archik. It's not Art Chick, it's Archik. If you didn't know, you get it right. And I have to say, in the video, we talk about the inspiration. We talk about, what SpottieWiFi's goal is. He's so creative. And we do talk about Archik. I'm not sure if it was on stream or after the stream. And, there is controversy around her. I think some people love her, some people hate her. But at the end of the day, removing all of the other beliefs out of the way, she's one of the most creative people in the space. She obviously cares a lot about the NFT space, and you cannot ding her for that. We need to give her praise for being so creative. It was exciting to hear the story about how this came about. It was exciting to see this happen live on my stream. And I never would have guessed a million years that his collaboration would be with Archik for his song. We had some people tweeting about it. It was really funny. We had LDF tweeting out that she's going to be minting this NFT history. And I really do think it is kind of like history to see this happen, such two big collaborators. Also on my channel yesterday, we had an interview with Kath Simard. She is a photographer who explores the British Columbia and remote wilderness landscapes and nature. We saw this last night. We were joking hopefully it gets bid on. Waking up this morning to see that it got a bid in the late hours of the morning for 8 ETH by Studio 137, who shows up naked on Twitter. Super exciting. One of my favorite photos of hers. The story behind this photo is absolutely insane. If you want to know how she got this photo and kind of the dangers of how this photo came about, and some of her other crazy stories where she's put her life on the line to get photos, there will be a link below for the interview I did with her last night, and I do encourage everybody to go and give it a listen. As I was looking through this morning, I realized that crypto baby punk prices have pulled back significantly since we saw that huge rise. Again, they did go to ERC 721. They do have some big announcements still on the way. I think there's airdrops on the way. I would encourage everybody to check out this project. They do have a Twitter Spaces that I think is happening today. So go check out their Twitter. And definitely, if you're interested in the project, go check that out. I guess this tab is out of order. This is supposed to be back for Frederick's tweet. So fractionalization and fractional.art, the reason that I think it is going to be so prominent is it allows for people to get exposure to pieces that are essentially, just out of reach for them. And even if you own like 1% of a glyph, you still own 1% of a glyph. It's better than zero. And I would encourage people that are like, wow, I think a Lost Robbies, or I think, this Twin Flame or a glyph or a certain Bored Ape Yacht Club are going to be worth $20 million, $100 million in a decade. And if you're willing to make that bet and you're so you have a lot of conviction on it, I think fractional is like the way to do it. It's like, why save up $2 million to go buy a Lost Robbie or a glyph when you can just throw in 1,000 and have that same kind of return, even though you don't have the funds right now. So currently the Twin Flames number 49 sitting at an implied valuation of 1.5 million. The buyout is at 1.8. So there's not a lot left in the tank for this project. If somebody does need liquidity, we'll likely see this pull back. So like last night we saw a dip of 22% when somebody just sold out their whole position. We'll likely see that happen as we get closer to that buyout price, as people are like, well, there's no reason to stick around. And then also alongside the topic of fractionalization, this tweet from DC Investor coming out about NFT lottery.xyz. Another interesting idea. Now, this is like, I'm not sure like the legalities of this, but I can't knock that this is an amazing idea from, it looks like you essentially get a lottery for NFT. There are tickets for the lottery, and it allows essentially for you to source liquidity for NFTs that are very expensive. So let's say you have 120 ETH Twin Flame that you want to sell. Instead of waiting for that one individual to come around that has 120 ETH, you can essentially say, okay, I know there's 1,000 people that would love to have this Twin Flame. I'll set a price of 0.1, and hopefully people will buy the tickets, and the tickets will generate what the price is, and then at the end of it, one of those people win the NFT. So definitely check this out. I'm sure there's going to be some people that have opinions on this and the legality and, what is a security? What is a lottery? Is it gambling? But it is very interesting. I love the idea, the creativity around it. Again, the website is nft-lottery.xyz. And at OXMons, is the guy who's tweeting about this, and who is kicking this off. So super interesting. Another airdrop that is, or not airdrop, I guess it's just an announcement coming from Wicked Craniums that came out a couple minutes ago. There will be something coming from them. It'll be interesting to watch what the price of Craniums does this morning. But yeah, again, another project, another team that just does not stop doing stuff. And it's hard not to be bullish on a team that is constantly announcing and constantly staying in touch. And they do use the hashtag gods. So it does look like it's a drop. It looks like it's for something called gods. And likely this is something where people are going to buy because they're like, oh, I want to get the drop, but the snapshot most likely already happened. And it's just proving like some of this stuff is worth holding no matter what. If you like it long term, like you're going to get the value out of it because the teams want to reward long-term holders. So yeah, Wicked Craniums, definitely adding that to like my list of my list of like high quality teams. So like Cool Cats, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Rarible Labs, Pixel Vault, and now I would say Wicked Craniums is one that definitely was forgotten there, but ought to be up there. In other news yesterday, TikTok picking Ethereum app Audius to power their new sounds library. I know that it's probably like news to some of you, but there was a email that came out from TikTok like 4-6 weeks ago, might have been like 8 weeks ago, basically from TikTok sending out an email to like certain influencers and prominent people in this space, announcing that they would be launching their own NFT marketplace, or at least incorporating NFTs into the TikTok app. The essentially what we're seeing now is this starting to go into effect, and them deploying their I guess their strategy. If you're not aware of Audius is, it is a blockchain kind of like library that allows you to sell music and sell sounds. It's fully decentralized from what I understand, and it's definitely something that's like overlooked. And essentially, what we're seeing is like one of the biggest social networks, one of the biggest, I guess, NFT audio marketplaces merging. And I think this will bring more eyes to Audius. It'll bring more eyes to TikTok as people, or at least more eyes to NFTs through TikTok. So it'll be super interesting to see what their plan is. I'll link this article down below. Definitely give it a read. And then just before we hop into the market, I had a question yesterday about the Chimodu stuff and why you couldn't buy it on Opensea, and also why like a lot of stuff from Rarible wasn't showing up on Opensea. I did get this response from Nate, who is a Opensea employee. Nate saying that Rarible collections are temporarily not listed on Opensea due to the high volume of fraud entering the platform, entering Opensea from Rarible, with fraudulent content uploaded to Rarible, mainly fake Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're hoping to re-enable that soon. So essentially Opensea trying to protect its customers by not allowing, potentially fraudulent stuff that was listed on Rarible to enter their ecosystem. I fully support this. I understand you got to protect your customers, and you can't let another third party list things onto your site if it's going to damage your customer's experience. The last thing I'll kind of note here before we touch on one other project and then we'll get into the market is that Beanie has been doing these Monday open mics. And I know there was a lot of drama around Beanie and Pranksy, and some people don't like him and do like him. But I will say, like, the sessions where you get like thousands of people, I think there was 1,000 people in his Twitter space, you will get some very good information. Listen to what people are saying. Listen to what is being brought up. What are the common topics? There are good ways to study off of the topics discussed. I think we spent a lot of time yesterday speaking on what is happening in the collectible space. Is having the first baseball card ever done important? Nobody knows what that is, but if it's culturally relevant and rare, that will be probably one of the most valued baseball cards out there. That's more how the market works. So things like that, you'll pick up on little hints and stuff. Definitely worth just jumping in there next Monday to check it out. Like I said, this is purely just get information, listen to what's happening in the masses. Last night, this project came across my desk and basically sold out. It went like the last 1,000 got minted in a couple minutes, so I missed out on them. It is a Japanese artist and it's generative art. Very cool. It was 0.1 and essentially developed by Takawo and Toshiaki and Wild Mouse. I do know that the art is super cool. I love the concept, and it's a cool project. I wish I could have picked one up for mint price. I'm excited to see what happens going forward. But the art is like real genuine art, in my opinion. So very cool to see that. Looking at the market right now, we are currently sitting with Pudgy Penguins at number 1 still. Really crazy to see that much volume and that much pricing happening. And what I am expecting to happen here is that we're probably seeing like the market get a little soft. I think we've seen prices across the board kind of drop. I think volumes might have picked back up, but like a lot of stuff that's popped over the last 2 weeks, we're currently seeing kind of pull back, get a little soft. Like Cool Cats at 1.44, Crypto, the Punks Comics at 1.8, still pulling back. The Hearst pieces, the price shot up to 12, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, it's a hack. It's a pump and dump." I don't think so. I think what we're seeing with the Hearst project is a lot of people getting in, learning about it, and the price is shooting from 3 to, sorry about that. Got a dog trying to get on the morning mint apparently. And we got prices going from 3 to 12, shooting up. And then everybody who is like, okay, do I want a Tesla or do I want this painting, going, all right, I'll get the Tesla. Like, I'll sell for 12 ETH, pick up the Tesla and be happy. And I'll wait for the price to go back down. I'll pick one up maybe again. And so now what you have is this like race to the bottom of people saying, all right, I'm listing at 9, I want it for 8, I want it for 7, I'll take 21 grand. And they're going from there. And likely what we'll see is we'll go down, 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 race to the bottom. We'll hit a bottom, consolidation. It'll sit at a number, which I think is going to be around like 5 to 6. We'll sit at this number, go sideways for a couple months. Maybe you'll have a spike up and then, the same thing down and back. But then as we get closer to the burn period, and we've seen this with every single project, as we get closer to the burn period, there'll just be a day where it clicks and everybody's like, oh, wait, these are going to go away. It's going to get rare. It's going to get sought after. And we'll see these prices go quite high as, people get that FOMO. It's the same thing we saw with the comics. Bored Ape Yacht Club, just under 15 ETH. We have Meebits just under 3 at 2.8. The Fuck Render Crystals at 2.1. The Fortune Media pieces at 21.8. Fluff World at 0.42. Lonely Alien Space Club at 0.48. We've seen this get a lot of volume and a lot of people looking at it. Yesterday, the floor was just under 4.4. Then we saw it go to 0.4. And so now we're kind of just chilling there. Junkyard Dogs at 0.1. It's a project that I like just for the animation. I also do like the dogs that have some, just cool, like I think if Twitter were to add animation back to profile photos, we would see a lot of the animated projects shoot up in value because now they have more of like a social utility. And it would be really cool to be able to use those. So I'm excited to see that possibly happen. World of Women still sitting at 0.8. Let's see what else we have. VFriends, a project that has just kind of stood the test of time, up only since the beginning of the floor being at 0.5. Then we saw 3 is the floor, then 5 is the floor. Now sitting at 7.5 is kind of crazy. As we keep going forward here, I'm expecting announcements from Gary and the VFriends team. I would hold VFriends as the top quality kind of like community project. And when I say community, I mean like the people that buy this project. And it kind of comes back to my whole kind of saying of turn your friends into collectors, your collectors into friends. The people who were Gary's like fans became his collectors. They wanted to support him. And I think the people who buy VFriends who get it and they're like, okay, I get the IP, I get this, but they didn't know of Gary. They become fans of Gary just because they see what his long-term vision and what he's doing. So that is really cool to kind of just see play out. The Cyberkongs with the generation of assets. So you generate bananas by holding a Cyberkongs now. I'll have to do some more exact research into it, but I think you generate like $15 per Cyberkong per. It's like you generate $150 per day per Cyberkong. So if you have like a couple of these, you could be doing like $1,000 in passive income a day. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but there is, they do cash flow as assets now. And this is where I get really excited about like, CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club, and like Punks Comics, where these instead of just being like art or a digital asset, they become like financial assets where you can stake them, you can use them to generate income, and that gets me super excited. The generative mask that we talked about earlier from the Japanese generative art, the floor is at 0.4. So if you minted those, you're sitting at a nice 4x. I do want to touch on the Derpy Burbs sitting at 0.08. So we're seeing that pull back quicker and quicker. I did pick up 2 because I thought they were cute. Bored Ape Kennel Club sitting at 1.99, so not much happening there. Stoner Cats at 0.4. Do we have anything else kind of crazy happening? Nothing much, it looks like. You know, I think that there's just so many projects. Like, it used to be I would scroll down to like number 30 and it'd be like, okay, that's all the projects that are, being talked about. Now, if I scroll down to like, 190, Wicked Craniums is 98. And, that's odd to me to see, Wicked Cranium so low which is such a like prominent project, even Avastars. And then you really do, like, you can scroll down on Opensea down to like, close to 200 and you're still seeing like, oh, I know a project that is like X copies down there, running into projects, that are quality, but the volume's down or they're just overlooked. So Mooncats, Hashmask, two of the projects that I'm kind of like looking at currently. If we take a look at the market overall from like a more specific kind of look, Bored Ape Yacht Club, we're seeing the volumes, and it's kind of, I feel like I repeat myself, and comment below if like if it's annoying, but like we always see a rip up. You'll see the big candle come in for volume, and then volume will die off after that. And once we see that kind of happen, we'll either go into what will likely be a consolidation phase or drawback. And then once the floor is in, you'll start to see, once you start to see volume come back, you will actually see that price start to follow the volume. So I think this is a great indicator. Like, if we saw the volume have a big day, I would get excited, because we rarely see just a lone, volume spike for these big projects. The Bored Ape Yacht Club, I guess the current state of it is that stuff is just being bought at the floor. There's not a lot of stuff happening in like the 50 to 100 ETH range. Most of the things being bought are in the 15 to 20 ETH range, and then a rare sighting like a 25 ETH. So really, it's just the floor being churned around, people flipping out of stuff, and picking up apes that they want. High quality project worth looking into if you're new. Like I said, we saw the Hearst floor pop up all the way to 13 ETH over the weekend. Currently seeing that volume lower, and the sale price lower as well. It's kind of just a race to the bottom, in my opinion. Like I've said, like, people who are like, hey, I'll take the cash out, I'll take the 20K, just delisting, trying to be the lowest. Let's see, there's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So only like 24 to like 30 sales until we're back at 10 ETH. So it's not like there's hundreds of people listing and fighting their way to the bottom. It's just those people who are looking at the price and going, oh shit, like, I'll take the money. Like, I'll take the 8X over a couple weeks. Like, why not? So I'm likely going to see this bottom out, and then we'll see it come back, and as we get to that burn period, explode. Punk's comic at 1.8. I think it's just the mint passes that are getting a little lower valuation. The DAO and the actual comics itself still over a 2 ETH floor. The mint passes certainly, like, I think we'll see the mint passes be very, very sought after as the claim period comes to light. Like, when we see the Meta Hero reveal, we'll see the prices rise again. And then I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with, like, if you have 14 Meta Heroes that aren't claimed and it's 4 weeks, 10 weeks after the claim period, because you don't have to claim them, like, or like reveal them. It'll be kind of like, like when we see these Pokemon deck reveals, like, people go buy the box, and it's kind of like, oh, every box could have that, holographic Charizard in it. It's going to be the same thing here, where I think people might pay a premium, like an insane premium, to get these Meta Hero identities if there are still these core Meta Heroes out there. So potentially that is the play, is to buy these cheap, hold them for, a year, hope that not all the cores get claimed, and then sell at a premium price. That could be a play. I would definitely study the playing cards, field, and understand what's happening there. Cool Cats currently sitting at 1.44. Seeing volume and price start to die off. Just another kind of pullback in what I would call the NFT mania that we saw over the last couple weeks. I'm not worried. This is a quality project, quality stuff. I would love to pick another one up. I think I'm going to hopefully see a friend pick one up. Pudgy Penguins has solidified itself as a meme. And I think a lot of people are like, would you buy a penguin or a cat? And I think they're two completely different projects. So you'd have to kind of figure out on your own, am I going to bet on the meme, or am I going to bet on the team, where Cool Cats just has a crazy cool team. They have a lot of cool stuff in the roadmap. And then Penguins is more like Coltherium's kind of, hey, this is my meme project that has been adopted by the DeFi community, and they really enjoy it. So, that's why it's being sought after. Meebits currently just under 3 Ethereum. The floor Meebits look like floor Meebits. And then if you want something like really, really cool, you might have to pay more. Actually, this guy getting a snag here for 3 ETH. Wow, with the glyph shirt. This is absolutely stolen. Very cool. So yeah, we had a sale for 4, and then taking the 1 ETH hit. Interesting. 5 days ago, losing an ETH in 5 days. That sucks. That really sucks. So looks like we had a failed flip occur right there. The Meebits and Bored Ape Kennel Club. I think those are two secondary projects to the bigger project that have still opportunity in them. They are much more expensive than they used to be. But if we do see these average prices fall back lower and lower, I would say that there's going to be purchase opportunities for sure, especially from the flippers. We've seen a lot of the people that need liquidity or bought just to sell as this goes up are getting into price points that are okay, I need to get out, I need to sell. And we're going to see that across the entire, market going forward here. Kong's currently sitting at 0.1 or 0.9 ETH. We have seen some big sales roll through. We did see a 23 ETH from Nate Rivers to AxiBoss. Huge sale this morning for 23 ETH. We saw a 250 banana sale as well, which I think that equates to, if I do the math in my head, that would be about an ETH, I think. The Crypto Kong here, 2-1. So we're seeing big sales too. We're seeing 21 ETH sales, 23, and then a lot of activity on the Kongs. This is a project that I've just overlooked. And I wish I knew more about, and I wish I understood. If you are an owner of this, let me know below what you think, why you're excited, what you're bullish on. If you haven't bought one, but you know of it, tell me why you haven't. I'm curious to know. It does seem like they're doing a lot of cool stuff, and I like to own cool stuff, and from projects and teams that are innovating and pushing it forward. So like I said, I'm curious to see what's happened since that announcement, or at least that tweet from the Wiki Craniums. Not a lot of action. I thought people would have seen that tweet and been diving in. I'll refresh just to make sure it's just not Opensea. Yeah, so not a lot of people buying. Only 4 people since that tweet for Wiki Craniums. Like I said, likely that snapshot for whatever they're dropping or doing has occurred long ahead of this time, so that they're not rewarding people that are just buying and then flipping. So will be interesting to see what happens there. If it does turn out that the snapshot period happens in a week, we will see this project explode, obviously, because people will want to own it. Taking a quick look at Squigglies on dgendata.io. So standard Squigglies currently right now, we have sales up as far as 8.22. we are seeing this, it looks like, get a little weak yesterday, where average sale, or this is min sale actually, min sale of 6.13. I would love to change this from minimum sales to the median sale price. I forget how to do that from right here, but we'll just keep talking through. So currently seeing sales for standards go all as high as like 15. Seeing a couple here for 15. Are they all from the same seller? It looks like they are all from, possibly at least two of them are from the same seller. So doing 60 ETH in sales for the for standard squiggly is just wild. That's huge. We'll look at Slinky next. Slinky is currently sitting where the market is paying about 9 to 12. We're seeing 14 roll through there. It just strikes me that the Slinkies don't get as much love, or they're not viewed as high in demand as the other traits, even a standard. Like, I think people might buy a standard over a Slinky, even though they're rare. So we're only seeing 88 sales there. For the fuzzies, only seeing 74 sales. And with these, we're seeing prices, 19, 15. The sales on the fuzzies obviously getting higher and higher. And I'm telling people that this is a project that isn't only like it's the first, but it's like art blocks. It's the original generative art. Even though it's so high in volume, like there's 10,000 of them, it is really kind of like a bet on the entire art blocks ecosystem. It's not just a project. It is like it's the original. And so I think people just want to own the original relevant and rare art for art blocks, which is really exciting. And then we'll just take a real quick look at bold and ribbed, because I can tell you the rest, hyper rainbow, pipe, and full spectrum, are insanely expensive. So for bolds, we're seeing prices get as high as 40 now. Like I said, going into Friday night, I was looking, I saw stuff at 22. And I even said to myself, that'd be kind of interesting to pick up. Didn't do it. And of course, we see these kind of rip off. And the ribbed, only seeing 47 sales, average price currently sitting around 17, 18. And we are seeing less liquidity here. So it does seem like fuzzy might have more of a, at least for like the premium stuff that's like not at like 40 ETH like the bolds. Fuzzy being a good buy right now, but we are seeing those prices go high. And even like the normal stuff, like the normal Chromie Squiggly, is just going absolutely nuts in pricing. Currently looking at the Punks floor, sitting at 44 ETH. I've seen it, the last couple days. It's not really a floor of 44. I would say the floor is more like 50 because there's just no real, there's really not, or maybe like 48, 49. There isn't really any depth to the 44. There's one, it goes 44, 45, 3 at 45, then it's a 46, 3, 4, 5 at 46, and then, there's just a couple. Whereas like we used to see, like when the floor was 20, it would be like 8 listed at 20.99, and then, a bunch listed between 21.99 and 22. So we just don't have a lot of depth on the floor there. There are some good ones starting to show up around the floor. So there are, I guess, some buys worth getting there. I think there are flippers that are starting to feel the heat or need liquidity, and they're, I guess, racing to the bottom a little bit. But there are people sitting there with a trampoline with arms wide open, saying, "I'll catch you. Like when you're ready to sell your bag for a loss, I'm here. Just give me a knock." We did see the wild hair with the welding glasses that I mentioned yesterday for 73 sell 9 hours ago. We saw a VR go for 89, a wild white for 255 ETH, that is just above $800,000. A couple purple caps, a hoodie going for 150, Another wild white going for 250, or not welding glasses, nerd glasses. A wild white with welding glasses going for 250 ETH, just above 800,000. Actually, Kath talking about a very similar pirate looking with the eye cap one last night in our interview, going for sale. Really like the volume is down, but there's certainly money being moved around. Today kind of being the first day that we're seeing some more high number purchases, so the wild whites as well as that hoodie. And I think, like I said, the whole market right now is kind of just mellowing out. We're chilling. We'll likely see it come back in the next week or two where things will pop off. My opinion is when things get soft and the market gets quiet, that is the time to put money in, because long term, I think we're moving up. And that's just my philosophy and how I act. So when I see Ethereum dip down, that's when I get aggressive. When I see an NFT project that I see is quality dip down, that's when I get aggressive. So like if Punk Comics, if I saw Mint here, the MetaPass or the comics dip down into like the low ones, I can bet you that I'm liquidating other assets or putting more money into that just so that I can get more exposure, because I don't think that reflects the real price. Currently, the entire crypto market is kind of flat. We're sitting at $2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin sitting at a flat $46,000 and Ethereum sitting at $3,200. It's kind of a mellow period. If we take a look at the Ethereum chart currently, over the last couple days here, we're still in this. Well, if we look at the month period, we're still in this upward trend, but we are kind of losing some momentum. There's been a ceiling established here, right around the. I guess this is the $3,300 mark. So right around $3,300, there's been a ceiling established, and then it looks like there's a floor around. Let's see here, $3,150 on the low there. So there's kind of like this trading, I guess like rectangle that we're in, this zone. That's the word I'm looking for. So between like 3,150 and 3,300, currently kind of this range. We'll see what happens if we break out of that. If you draw, and again, I'm not a trading guy. I can just look at a chart though and show you like, simple trading patterns that might be evolving out of it. We're gonna see this either stick and we'll keep moving in this period, or we'll break above it and then a new kind of channel up will be established or down will be established. Like, and a lot of people are listening to this and like, yeah, Hunter, those are the only three options. It's either going to go sideways, up or down. Like, but like, understand we're kind of at like a point here where, if you were to draw this out, you'd see like there's a little bit of time before one of those gets confirmed. Like you'll either break up or down or left. It's not like we're back here and it's very clearly just testing up. And there is no ceiling established. There is no floor. We haven't seen anything but this upward movement. Here we're kind of seeing that there is kind of a price point where momentum runs out, and here where buyers come back in to buy. So just be knowing of that, and keep an eye on it. I still don't think the price of Ethereum really affects the price of NFTs. I do think if like we saw Ethereum go to $100, like obviously NFTs now become more accessible. So you might see something like that happen, but I don't think really if we see Ethereum drop back down to like 2,000, a lot of people are going to adjust their prices. I think a lot of things will stay the same. Maybe a little bit of change in such a huge price movement, but for the most part, if you bought a Twin Flames today for 100 ETH and ETH goes to $10,000 per, I think you'll still see people valuing. They won't like drop the price to be like, oh, I need to get my USD value. You'll still see Twin Flames be selling for 100 plus ETH because people are valuing these projects in Ethereum. That's all I have for today, guys. Like I said, there is a Kath interview coming out at some point in the next hour or two. And I'm also going to be putting out a video just on my, my little rant I had yesterday on like newcomers and what they need to do. Do your homework, study. Don't just listen to people. Take a week or two just to like sit back and analyze, see what's happening, because this is real money. There are real consequences to losing money. And it's not really like, everybody jokes like up only, but it isn't only up only. Like there are lots of things that you can put money into and they'll go to zero. So you need to study, you need to do your homework and make sure you're being smart. As always, if you have questions or you're trying to get into the space, I have a Discord below. Go ahead and join it and ask questions. The community is really helpful, or hit me up on Twitter. I really do strive to be a resource to you guys that are getting into the game, or to the people that have been around and just have a question. So do hit me up. Guys, as always, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I will catch you tomorrow on the next one. Peace.